Alright, everybody, welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well today. I hope you have your tea or coffee ready, because today we're gonna be doing something different. Hey, Schmelicopter. Good morning. Cheers. Oh, you're just saying hi and leaving? Where are you going to? Adventures? That sounds good though. No worries. Maybe you'll see the results of today's stream on Instagram later. But while we're waiting an unexpected guided tour, that's cool. Don't forget to sketch something. Maybe, if you have time. Around Södermalm. Sounds good. Well, then have a good day there and have fun. And for the rest of us who are staying on the stream, today I thought we can... Thanks, Helicopter. See you next time. I was thinking, for the summer, it would be cool to have some sort of like a topic or a general theme or something like that. So I thought, why not just, hey Nervin, why not take something that we did on stream before, which are these guys, like a ship and sky harbor, floating city. Why not flesh it out a little bit into, something like a world? So maybe we can have like a summer of world building, and it doesn't necessarily mean that we're gonna be doing like always this kind of stuff, because we can draw, like characters in that world and their props and everything. But I think it's cool to have like a similar topic between the streams. And this thing I drew yesterday, kind of just thinking about what to draw on the stream. Good morning, Solar Fun. Welcome. And yeah, I thought, why not do it digitally? I don't draw digitally most of the time, so I thought maybe practicing some digital art would be good. So, but that's summer of world building, and summer starts tomorrow. But until tomorrow comes, we can maybe prep some ideas. I can also switch to this view. I think maybe it would make a little bit more sense, because the main thing is on the iPad. But anyway, yeah, so let's just get into it. I have some color palettes that I picked from different images that I drew before, but we're not, like, nothing is set in stone yet. Let's move this stuff a bit. This stuff can go here. That's great. I like that the screen capture doesn't move when I move the iPad, so I can actually move it the way it's comfortable for me to draw. Okay, let's get like a sketch brush. And I thought, let's call it Windhunters World, because, or something, maybe Chronicles. It sounds like a comic book, graphic book novel. But yeah, so let's think a little bit about how the world is structured there, because that's gonna help us to decide what to draw later. So let's say, like, we need kind of a reason why they leave. I will start doodling some air related stuff in the meantime, because I think it's gonna be more interesting to see something than just listen. So why do actually let's switch this double tap function off, because it's really annoying, the eyedropper on the double tap. Now that's better. Sorry. Yeah, so why did people, like, why does this society exist? And you know, like, how far in the sky are those people? Maybe let's just play like a mind game. Maybe, just maybe, there was a global warming and all the ice on Earth melted. Or maybe it's like a similar to Earth planet or something. So if all the ice melted, then the water sea level would rise. Not that much, but like enough to drown all the big cities and all that stuff, because people are generally living more along the coast. So maybe some people manage to escape or like adapt to living in the air, and that's how we have this kind of like world. Actually, let's take a look how the zeppelins look like. So that could be one option. Another one, maybe some people are living in the sea as well, and that way we have two very different kind of styles that we can explore. And I think it's gonna be kind of like steampunkish a little bit, maybe something along the lines of Bioshock. But we'll see how it turns out. There is an easy way to draw straight lines in Procreate, but I don't want to stick to the grid. But sometimes, you know, instead of redrawing everything, it's just easier to turn on the grid and make a straight line and find out that your Zeppelin is completely asymmetrical. That's a good thing to know. Anyway, so maybe we have some like a air nation and underwater nation. Maybe they don't intersect. Maybe they have some ports where they actually trade goods, like maybe on the ocean there are floating villages or something like that. It's a little bit too, go away. It's a little too thick, I feel like. Damn it. Let's get rid of that for a second. guess this is more like a Zeppelin shape. Alright. Yeah, so perhaps we'll have some underwater, overwater, maybe floating villages, stuff like that. And then the fact that all people are living on the like above ground, maybe quite far high in the sky, it would affect a lot of things. For instance, what people value and what they, you know, like what they have for currency. What's the most expensive thing there? For instance, I guess it's hard to have plants, so maybe there will be some like people who can afford having plants on their floating base. Maybe they will be more rich because they can produce rare goods. Or maybe people will eat much more poultry, like seagulls and I don't know, pigeons. I guess herbs and like, I don't know, tomatoes could be still an option, because they would be kind of easy to keep, because they might just need water. But also the construction of all those houses and villages will be much different from what we know, because they would have to, you know, protect from strong winds or radiation, because there is more radiation up high in the sky and stuff like that. I don't want to make it like too realistic, this whole world idea. I think I would rather just kind of keep it loosely realistic, just for an easier kind of understanding, I guess. Like, so it doesn't feel that alien. But in general, I would like to keep it more like a kind of steampunk fantasy setting, something. And yeah, because, you know, like flying ships like this one that you see, they probably wouldn't exist in the very realistic world. But it's fun to have those kind of ships, so let's have them. What does everyone think in general about this idea of like one project for the whole summer? Might be, I was kind of debating, because it, you know, might be boring to see the same stuff every time. I mean, it won't be the same stuff, but I also thought maybe having similar theme for the whole summer can be fun. All right, let's. Where will we start with the world building though? We need, basically today I think we'll focus on the different options to float in the air, because that's what our people will be doing mostly. And we already found zeppelins, we already found balloons. Let's get some more balloons. Hot air balloon. I like these different shapes that they have. Like I don't know, I especially like the old ones because they're these really round balloons. Yeah, I haven't done digital art on the stream in a really long time, so this is kind of new new again for me. Why can't it slide to the left side but can slide to the right side? I don't understand. I haven't decided yet if we'll have it like all the streams for summer will be digital, maybe not. I don't know if like what people are interested in watching, if it's more traditional or more digital, or they don't care much. So let me know, guys, if like what do you think about that? Would you rather have it traditional or digital or whatnot? We can also change it up from sometimes. We can have it digital once in a while and traditional once, I don't know, maybe once a month it will be watercolor and the other times it would be digital. I wonder why does my stylus keep switching from drawing to erasing. That's a little bit annoying. Anyway, yeah, so that's kind of, I think, would be my question to you. I like to watch digital, says Nervin Elenzar. It gives a fresh taste to what you usually do on stream, or maybe changing it up by doing thumbnailing digital and finished piece watercolor. That's also a good idea. I like it. Doing like brainstorming on digitally and then doing the final one. Also, why is it back to Zeppelin? And then doing the full illustration in watercolor. I think it's a good option. Maybe it can be like all on one stream, even like we just first, I don't know, half an hour or an hour we do the thumbnailing and then the full illustration. That's a good option. Thank you, Nervin. I don't know also how we can structure it if we want to. Like, we don't have to structure it at all, but maybe could be fun to have also for each month. Maybe the first month is like cities, and second month, because it's summer, so we have 3 months, and the second month would be like, I don't know, vehicles, and the third month could be characters or something like that. Or maybe we can just change it up every time depending on the mood. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I saw this idea of making Summer of World Building from Brother Baston. He's like also a streamer, YouTube creator. It's called now, I think. And he's doing really good concept art and like these illustrations and everything, and I would recommend to check him out. And I think a few years ago, by now, it's time passes by so fast, he had a project for the whole summer. It was called Summer of World Building. As you might notice, there is a pattern. And basically for the whole summer, he was doing it every day. I think he was streaming almost every day for like 4 or 5 hours. I don't know actually what his job is, if that was his job or how did he manage it all. I don't think I can do that. But he was streaming every day or every second day or something like that, and just getting all these different concepts drawn. And like he started with just large cities, then kind of individual buildings, then some characters, some props, and then by the end he also was great feed. Yeah, he was also creating like specific characters, not just random, you know, like a commoner and noble person, but also these kind of like specific heroes basically, and then he sent them on an adventure or something like that. So that was pretty cool, and that inspired me for a few years to think about it. As you know, like you can't just start doing stuff, you need to overthink a little bit. And so I did that, and now I think I'm ready. I always liked creating things, and I think a common topic helps a lot with coming up with ideas, because you don't have to, like every time you don't have to create something new because you already know the general idea. You kind of just need to develop it further. Alright, so how else people can float? Maybe paragliders? Yeah, I guess a paraglider would be maybe like a scooter nowadays, kind of like a common simple way to move between close by objects, cities, ships. Let's see, paraglider illustration. How maybe like how do you call that paraglider from Zelda? Is it the Delta Plane? Plane? Delta Plano? It's the same. Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Kind of like this stuff. When you're floating in a sleeping bag. It's just a normal paraglider. I thought paragliders are these wings. You know, like these things. But in Zelda it's like a more like this kind of thing. Kind of like, you know, this is basically like a parachute in a very specific shape, whereas this one I think you can you basically glide. I mean, I'm not. I don't know anything about these things, so maybe they're all paragliders. There, yeah, I also don't know. I think there are these paragliders, and then there are the, the these paragliders. You know. Let's save this one as well. Yeah, guys, if you want the same references, you can just type !refs in your in the chat, and you will get the link. Let's save this one as well. Speaking of links, if you type !links in the chat, you will get all the links to all our stuff, where you can also share your art if you want, or I don't know, we can discuss some of world building. I think maybe I will post more there because maybe I will be drawing more, or maybe we'll be discussing more ideas there. All right, let's sketch some more simple planes. Because I guess like all this simple stuff will be. Hey, good morning, Pixel Props. Welcome to the stream. We're preparing for the summer of world building. By just kind of thinking about all the different shapes of winged things and floaty stuff. What else can we come up with? Maybe, I mean, they're gonna be like a simple parachutes as well, I guess. Like cargo parachutes. Maybe there are like 3 of them because their cargo is heavy. Don't know, something like that. Yeah. All right. What else? Think I don't really want to draw like big planes. I can imagine that metal production, when everything is covered in water, might be a little bit tough. All right. Actually, I think I'll go on with coloring those for now and see what else we can come up with. But I'll take a 1-minute break. So if we need to grab a tea or coffee, I'll be back in a second. No, not in 5 minutes. In a second. Anyway, where were we? Yeah, we will definitely need to come up with more ways for people to float, because especially for the cities, I don't know how much the air balloons can hold. But again, we can say that it's all happening on a different planet, and then it's all kind of random. You know, it could be, it doesn't have to follow our laws of physics. Solar Fun says, I like the idea of a specific subject, and maybe we as viewers can share our own sketches to the subject. Not sure if that would work though. That's a great idea. Yeah, I'm always up for people sharing their art and drawing along the same stuff, because I think it's, I know for some people it's hard to. Why am I looking at this? Go here somewhere. For some people it's really hard to come up with a topic. Like they want to practice, they like drawing, but they just don't know what to draw. And I feel like these streams can be a big help if they just draw along. But for that we kind of need to, I think you still need to be inspired by the topic. We have Discord where everybody can share their art. We can yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Solar Fun? Is it like should it be like a subject beforehand, or should it be just like, hey, on this stream let's draw some houses for this project, and then we all draw our interpretation of the houses? Or maybe everyone is drawing their own worlds or something like that. I'm just brainstorming kind of here. Don't know if it would be interesting for others to draw kind of the same world that I draw, that kind of doesn't exist anyway, but you know what I mean. Still a lot to learn with this digital stuff, because it's, I don't know, so confusing sometimes how to properly mix the colors and all that. I always want to learn more sketch approach to these, especially digital paintings. I feel like there will be no white stuff in the sky, because there is always some sun or sky reflecting. Just my guess. But I really like the idea of everybody sharing their sketches of the same thing. And I mean, we can already do it. We have Discord and stuff, so if you draw something along, then please share it. But I like this brother Baston's idea of just starting from like big to small. First maybe draw some environments, then maybe some cities, then perhaps some I don't know, props, objects, maybe like lanterns for the cities and you know, stuff like that. And then maybe characters. I'm not that much into character design, but could be also fun to learn this a little bit. Let's switch to something more uplifting. Maybe 9-inch nails is good, but sometimes you just need something more fun. Like this. All right. It's funny that when I draw with watercolor, I kind of usually know what to say, or at least I can share what I'm doing, because I don't know, I've been doing it for a little bit, and if at least I have some, you know, techniques that I learned by myself, or that things that help me draw the way I draw. But with digital, I have kind of like no idea what I'm doing, because I'm really not comfortable with it. So it's a little bit weird to draw on stream something you don't know. But on the other hand, how else do you learn if you don't do what you don't know? So let's, how they say it, let's embrace the suck. What app that, what app is that you're using on the iPad, or is it just a drawing pad? This is iPad and this is Procreate, this thingy. It's surprisingly good. It's crazy. This app, I think it costs like $10 or something like that. Let's turn this gesture controls back, by the way. Apple Pencil double tap. Yeah. Because then I can draw with one hand. It's just like 10 euro, and it's not a subscription thing, so you just have the drawing thing for the rest of your life, and it's really good. It's super responsive. The quality of the controls is great. Like, there are a lot of good features, so I can only recommend it. And that was my gateway into digital art. I was thinking about it for a long time, and then, because, you know, like, iPads are crazy expensive if you think about it. Like, what the hell, Apple? But I was thinking about it for a few months, years, and then I thought, yeah, whatever, let's just get on with it. If anything, I can probably sell it back, because the resale value on Apple products is quite good, even on old stuff. So I just bought it, and then I got Procreate, and that was it, kind of. I had a Wacom tablet from my childhood, Like I got it when I was, I think, 20 or something like that. I haven't drawn on it a lot, but I always wanted to draw on it, but you know, didn't practice that much in the last few years. It was just laying somewhere. But this Procreate thing, you kind of brought back the you know, the interest in digital art, because it's so easy, intuitive, and you know, I think what also helps a lot, for me at least, that you see exactly where you draw, so you can zoom in and like draw stuff here right where you see it. And with other Wacom tablets that I had before, I mean not other, with only Wacom tablets that I had before, you draw here and you see on the screen, so there is a little bit of disconnect there, which is not that bad. You get used to it quite okay, but this is such a huge difference, I feel like, because you know, when I'm drawing on paper, I always look very closely to the paper and like get right into it, kind of. So being able to do the same with digital is really good. And the other thing that I love about drawing digitally is that you can, if you want to try something out, you can just create a new layer, try out something, and if it doesn't work, you just delete the layer instead of the whole picture that you've been drawing. Also the ability to undo, amazing. I wish I can undo watercolors sometimes. So you can do something like that and then see if it works, and if it doesn't, then you didn't lose anything except of some of your time. On the other hand, time is all we have. I like the idea of one subject per month, vehicles, etc. So everybody could contribute. Let's see if I find the discipline myself. Alright, so one topic per month. I like it. Let's do it. So the first month, probably I will think about it a little bit and post later, or we can discuss it next stream, because that's when we start actually. But yeah, the first month I think will be like cities, and because that's basically the main place where people live. So if we figure that out, we can figure a lot of other stuff out as well. So then we'll have cities. With this, by the cities I mean like we can also draw individual buildings maybe, but probably like these floating villages and stuff like that. And then the, well, cities and landscapes, I guess. And then the next month we would have like buildings maybe. I mean, I'm into architecture, so I don't mind drawing buildings all the time. but maybe that we'll see by the end of the first month if buildings is a little bit too much again. But yeah, maybe like specific buildings for that culture, because some things would definitely change, right? Like maybe there won't be that many I don't know, taverns. No, there probably would be, well, there probably won't be that much traveling around. Let's start with that, because it's kind of hard. On the other hand, probably everybody would have some sort of means of transportation by themselves, because like it's hard to govern this like dispersed three-dimensional country. So probably there would be more like local governments, maybe little clusters of cities, and I mean clusters of houses and floating balloons. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I'm trying to add like a lighter color here, because I think it would be reflecting much more sky than I did. Does this make sense? I guess in a way. Okay, let's draw another one. Maybe this one would be more rusty. Maybe more yellowish. Maybe not though. Let's see. Could be brass. No, it could be metal. Damn it. Has to be some sort of hide or leather, I guess. Or don't know. Would be interesting as well to think of materials which people would have access to. And maybe we can figure out all these little like social differences, kind of the people who live underwater, people who live in the sky, how they communicate, and then we cannot have, you know, like if we have 1 month of buildings, 1 month of vehicles, and 1 month of some things like objects, props, maybe we can do them for all these different like styles, kind of different nations, so it can be more diverse kind of. I wonder if the sound of the Apple Pencil on the screen is annoying. Didn't test that part actually. Let me know if you hear too much of it. This brush that I'm using, it has, if you look at it, it has like one side very more straight and one side more rough, so it's easier to turn the canvas around to fit that straight side. That's why I'm drawing in such weird perspective. Trying to make a gradient here, but it doesn't work exactly how I want it. I feel like the secret to make something look cylindrical or like spherical is to make like on the very sides make it lighter, or make something more reflective. You just add a little bit lighter color on the side and a little where the shadow is, and a little more shadow on the side where the light is, and then somehow usually, let's see, usually it helps to give a little bit more depth. Seems like today today we're mostly drawing vehicles. I'm also trying to limit the amount of layers that I use, but from some point of view it's kind of like an artificial limitation, you know. Often people say like, yeah, you should use only one layer because it helps you do stuff, and like it's the same like in real world where we have only one sheet of paper. But you know, it doesn't, I don't know, I don't really like this idea because it seems artificial. Why can't you have another layer if you need one? Like what's wrong with it? Yeah, it's not like in real world where we have one piece of paper, but it's a different medium. You don't have to try to copy the other medium. The only thing I think it kind of makes sense for is to, like, for people who start out, not to get too caught up with the stuff they can do with all these layers and stuff, because it's more distracting in the start than it is helpful, because there are so many options and things. But it's also important to learn how to fix your mistakes if you mess up and you don't have enough undos to go back. So I guess it makes sense. I guess that's why I'm limiting myself to a few layers. But I don't see kind of anything bad in just creating a layer, trying something out and merging it back. Don't know. It's the same with using rulers, you know. It's a big no-no when you're learning to draw. But when you're not learning to draw, but drawing, nobody can stop you from using it, so... I remember when we were studying, there was always this kind of thought, you know, like, but I won't need mathematics, or like, I won't need this shit in my life. I'm not gonna do that. I don't need it. And oftentimes it turns out that, yeah, actually you don't need this. But often enough, it turns out that in one way or another, it is helpful to know something extra. Don't remember where this whole ramble started. Let's erase some of the thickness from these lines. That's another thing that I'm doing really often when I'm drawing digitally, is I'm drawing something thicker, like a thin line thicker than I need to, and then remove the extra fat. Don't know. I like this approach because it helps me, like, gives me more control over how thick I want and how even or uneven I want it. You know, maybe this one is far, so I can almost completely erase it. Maybe this one is close, so I will make it more thick. You know what I mean? Control. Wanted to make this more orange. The other thing, you know, with these floating objects in the air, if everything is, or if most of the life is happening in the air, then you need to be able to notice each other. So probably like blue and green won't be used as much as something like bright orange or red, just because it contrasts with the sky the most. On the other hand, people who would like to, you know, go unnoticed, like pirates maybe, they would make sure they paint themselves blue or gray. Maybe gray would be the pirate color instead of black. Or blue. Gray and blue. I think I will have to redraw this line later if I don't forget it, because it's in the way of this tail thingy. Maybe I will need to learn some terms for all these parts of floating aircrafts. I mean, I know wings. I know tail. But that's probably not enough. Alright, let's make it a little bit brighter for some lighting effects. I think it's important when you're changing the color. It's, first of all, I really like the way to pick colors on digital, because you can easily like change the hue, and it's super important to keep the colors like vibrant and interesting, is to like move the hue around, not only the lightness. If something is darker, it's usually a little bit more blue if it's, you know, in the open world, or if it's something is brighter, then it's usually a little bit more yellow. So kind of adding those micro colors here and there really helps to bring your artwork to life, as they say. So lovely summer colors, says Nervin. Thank you. I'm glad you like them. There probably will be summer colors for this world, because it will be blue sky, green, yellow. Oh no, green, red, yellow, orange, shapes in the sky, pink clouds. It's gonna be beautiful when we get there. Another thing to keep in mind is that when you have some bright colors, and bright light, the colors will reflect off everything. So if you want to like make it look more realistic, you would pick this orange color, for instance, that I have on the tail. Let's call it the tail, and add some of it to the ship itself. Also, I realized my top wing thing is too thick compared to the bottom. So you would take this orange and then just put some of it here. Just mix it together with the rest. And then I feel like that already makes it more, I don't know, more realistic kind of. But also you need to move it to the more blue section for even more realism. Will it be the Peaceful Sky Nation? Asks Nervin. We can have different ones actually. Maybe there will be the storm riders who are excellent at catching the wind and the storm, and they just, you don't see them coming and they suddenly appear and steal all your shit. I don't know. And there could be like a Peaceful Sky Nation that offers maybe, I don't know, which is very hospital, offers place to stay for everybody in the peaceful times. Don't know, something like that maybe. Kind of trying to measure where these corners should be, because I think I missed it at the top very poorly. Don't know what shape to give to this. Peaceful Sky Nation, the Storm Riders. Who else can there be? I don't like not all Earth would be completely underwater, of course. I think the top one is still higher. Let's check with our drawing guide. The other thing I can do is to just make a rectangle here, or rather here from the center to, that's not the center even, that's the center here, and then we fill it, and then we can move it up. Yeah, you see, you can also do it on paper though, but this helps to kind of check for the correct size, and we can see that this thing is too big. Oh, whoops. Add to the layer instead of removing it. Something like this, I guess, is now the bottom part is a bit too thick, but whatever. You can also kind of remove these lines. Maybe they're really thin, so you don't see them much. But you would see some of this reflection of the brown at the bottom. And a little bit of blue from the sky. I think that one is okay. It's realistic enough. But actually we will see some of the reflection of this color on this thing as well. It will be something like this, I guess, and probably this orange is so bright that we will need some reflections here. Maybe not as much. Something like this. But I also kind of worry every time that, you know, if I'm doing digital stuff, then people who do traditional drawings or who know this stream mostly for traditional drawings, they will be kind of left out in a way, you know. I'm not sure if that's the case, but that's a consideration at least to have. At the end of the day, I guess if people want to draw along, they will, and if they don't, they won't. So you can't really, you know, force everybody to join along just because you're doing it traditionally or digitally, you know. Let's move this a little bit to the blue section, because that's the color of the shadows. iPad is getting hot. There needs to be a sky supermarket. Ooh. Ooh, that's a solid idea. Sky supermarket. Like I really like these ideas of having, you know, like little weekly market with flying. Yeah, that's that's a great idea. Yeah, I really like the idea of having like small little, maybe like a little cafe, like a roadside cafe in the middle of the sky. Stuff like that. I think that would be great. And yeah, maybe like a farmer's market in the sky. Oh. Somehow everything closed. There's like a person somewhere, but can't see much because it's a very small human. Let's make him have like a red stripe. Sky supermarket with some, yeah, sky farmers market is a really cool idea. Like a tavern in the sky could be also pretty cool. Like I don't really want to have this world to be really technological, kind of like, what if our Earth is flooded with water? Like that's the general idea of it, but I don't want it to be in any way kind of realistic, you know. Would much rather have something like just a traditional fantasy, maybe steampunk setting. Not sure about steampunk though. I like it as a style, but like not really associate myself with it. You know what I mean? Like it's cool, but I don't want to draw flying greenhouses. Whoa, that's a really good idea as well. Should we write them somewhere? Those are solid ideas. Flying greenhouses can look really cool. Something along these lines. What else can be cool in the sky? Flying climbing hole? I think the like all these flying gardens and stuff like that can be really pretty. just thought somewhere there, they need to produce food. Or like flying fields or something, like a park to stroll. That's another thing, you know. It could be we can try to fit our things into their world, but we can also create some stuff that we don't have, you know. They wouldn't be able to have as many fields as we have right now, just up in the clouds, because it's too much effort, kind of. So they would probably find some other ways to produce food. Maybe they only grow small stuff, or maybe they grow stuff that, like, I think the weight will be a very big consideration. Floating park. Floating park to stroll is fun. There could be, you know, there could be still islands of very high mountains that are still above water. And also there should be a reason why people can just live on water, because it's much easier than floating in the skies. Nope, don't like that one. Let's make it a little bit more of this fun sun color. That balloon looks really weird. Let's be honest about it. I think I have kind of like a watercolory approach to mixing colors on the screen as well. Like I pick, if I need some sun, I just pick the yellow color, add a little bit, and then pick the color that gets mixed. Or if I need a shadow, I kind of just add some blue and then pick the mixed color. And it's actually quite fun. I think I haven't done this before this way. What happened to the Earth? What happened to the Earth again? Well, currently, the idea is that, I don't know, maybe just global warming happened in a very bad way. Like everything, you know, or I don't know, maybe there is something happening on the sun, so there is more heat coming, and all the ice has melted. So everything is covered with water. They're all like major cities, production facilities, all that stuff is underwater, destroyed. There are not so many people left, and those who are left are either living under the sea, or they're living in these like sky harbors, sky castles. At least that's what I have so far. Maybe it will change. If you have something to add, let's just speak up. But for now, that's the kind of general concept. Don't really know how else to force people to live in the sky. That's why all this water global warming stuff. I just really want to draw castles in the sky and all that stuff, so I need to force people to go to the sky somehow. For example, by just simply removing the ground under their feet, quite literally. Alright, let's see if we can do a couple more of these guys. Maybe this is a green balloon. I think this bright green can still work in the sky. Maybe there probably would be different professions as well for people, like the meteorologists will be super in demand and everybody will be trying to get a meteorologist in their village. So finally those people will get some credit. People who know how to, you know, use the wind, use the sails, who know about storms and all that kind of stuff. Those people probably will get a lot of attention as well. There will be probably like meteorological stations and that kind of stuff. I don't know if they would have radios and like telephones, telegrams, that kind of stuff. Maybe instead they would use pigeons and like different flying creatures to deliver messages between the cities. Probably would be really hard to move like information between the cities. I see, says Solar Fan. So maybe there are constructions that connects the sky with the water, like gigantic oil rigs that pumps water into the sky. Could be, yeah. Maybe gigantic. I don't know about the pumping water into the sky. Why would you pump water into the sky? But gigantic oil rigs is a good idea for like, you know, these zeppelins and air balloons. They can just kind of dock to the oil rig ish construction on the water and then go for, maybe it's like those oil rigs will be like trading posts where people from underwater and people from the sky can meet and trade their goods. Maybe like on the top of the mountains there will be also like villages that would connect people to the ground. I mean, there might be some people still living on the ground. They don't have to disappear completely. A little more yellowish green is needed here for the sunlight. Something like this, maybe? Maybe it's the green balloon that brings food. It can also... Oh, water, then the new fuel. I think... I was thinking yesterday about that. And I think there is a problem, because in the sky you can still get a lot of water. Like, you know, all these... If there is more water on Earth, there will be more evaporation, and as such more like even more water in the air. So I think people will get still, like, they can, you know, put sails to collect water. They maybe there would be people who hunt rain clouds to collect the water from there. That's a good idea, maybe. The rain hunters. I think I just want to add the word hunters to everything. Storm hunters. There are real storm hunters who just go to tornadoes and all that kind of stuff and just film that on camera. I don't know. There are all sorts of people. This is a broccoli balloon. It brings broccoli to the people of this world. There could be also these elevators, maybe, you know, above oil rigs or these little villages. There could be elevators, balloon elevators maybe, or some kind of other elevators that lead to the upper kind of regions. Like it could be a village that just has a docking station up in the air or something like that. And then we make a movie out of this. That's the only logical extension of this project, I think. Summer of world building, and then winter of movie making, and then summer of something. Something along these lines can do, I think. All right. How about... I don't like this cargo thing. I will just delete it with the power given me by this stylus. Let's write down some of the ideas before we finish it up with this couple more guys. So what did we have? There was Sky Farmers Market. Can never fit anything. And then there is, what else? Greenhouses, oil rigs, kind of like water hut, I don't know, villages, let's say. Maybe there are floating villages around the oil rig, so it's plus water villages. Elevators. What else did we have? Rain collectors. Maybe storm hunters. They can also, you know, get to the places with extreme winds to generate electricity or something like that. Maybe they're hunting for strong winds for these purposes. Okay, Earth is flooded. People live, let's say, people live in the sky and underwater, mostly, plus in mountains. I don't know if they can live underground. Maybe there is a secret nation underground. Alright, what's this thing here? Maybe it's like a red wood, kind of like the paraglider from what is it? The Last Airbender. That's the one. You remember there was this kind of paraglider? I think that's what I was aiming for. Something like that it was. Can't remember exactly, but there should be a human here as well. That would do, I think. Doesn't have to be detailed. It could be like a very far away person flying on this thing. I'm trying to be more sketchy because I'm always getting so caught up in details and making everything look perfect. I think it's also kind of part of the therapy process. Learn to let go of perfectionism and try to be more loose. Let's make this one maybe like pinkish white. Pinkish white can be a name. Do you know pinkish white? I met him on his bar mitzvah. Such a nice guy. Pinkish words. And I guess these two will be something like, I mean they're supposed to be white, but since they're in the sky, they're probably gonna be blue, or like really light blue. At least the one on the shady side, and the one on the sunny side will be more like orange, I think. Maybe greenish, because yellow and blue give green. Alright, we have one more thing to paint, and I think we'll call it a stream today. I'm getting hungry, you're probably getting hungry, and we brainstormed quite a bit. I think that was productive brainstorming session. Let's remove some of these lines. The track that is playing right now, first of all, you can find the now playing underneath the stream if you want to know, but also the music right now is the cover of John Lee Hooker's songs by two guys. I don't remember their names, but you know, John Lee Hooker was this like old school blues man, and they kind of reimagined his blues in more, I don't know, more modern approach. I don't know, it's really moody and cool turned out. Let's make this basket brown as well. Some sunlight on the sides, maybe some pink reflections on top. At least it would have some, I bet. Let's grab our dark blue for these little lines. Maybe this one has a line. Yeah. All right, think we're off to our last airplane for the stream. Maybe this one can be like the Wright's brothers. Wright brothers plane. I even spelled them correctly, which is surprising for me. Let's save some of these. This one, that's a good 3D model of it. Alright, so there's like double wing action here. It will be wing number 1. And then there is a wing number. Where do people sit there? That's the question. But anyway, there is 1 wing, 2 wing, second wing above this one, kind of like that roughly, and then there are 2 things at the back as well, and kind of no construction in between. I just put a 600-gram sweet potato in the oven. How long will it take to cook this monster? Oh, you will have a nice dinner though. It's gonna take, I think, like 2 hours. I feel like it always takes longer than I expect, so maybe 2.5. Maybe you'll get it for lunch even, if you're lucky. Let's bring in some sun here. Something like this maybe. Kind of want to keep it, you know, very sketchy and loose. Really want to keep it kind of far away in the distance. So let's zoom out and see how it looks so far. Looks a bit weird with this extra wing. Let's just remove this second wing. We can do more vehicles later anyway. I think I messed up also the perspective of this wing a little bit. Maybe now it's a bit better. Alright, we need to add something bright on this thing. Maybe like this. I feel like I messed up the length of this wings very much. Like maybe the other one should be much shorter. Does this make more sense? I think that's a little better. Not sure, but kinda. I think his back is messed up, maybe. Let's add some light here as well. Maybe this one is now too long. Anyway. Oh, I think it's just the tail that's messed up. And that's why it kind of ruins everything else. Let's redraw the tail. Yeah, I think this now makes a little bit more sense. All right. Now we're talking. All right. I think usually it takes 1 hour to do those, but 600 grams is a big one. Let's just make this a little more visible. But yeah, I think we pause here until the next stream. We have some solid ideas what to do and what to draw. I hope you enjoyed today's stream. Thank you all for joining along for the ride. If you get any ideas or want to participate along with this world building project in the summer, don't forget to join the Discord, the Instagram, and everything else, because then we can discuss stuff and maybe vote on stuff and all that thing. So yeah, thanks a lot for stopping by and have a great week. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.